What is going on, YouTube? So, I wanted to do my post-game reaction for the Longhorns football show. Obviously, an absolutely massive day for Texas. I don't think anyone would have expected the blowout that we saw of OU today in Red River. Just kind of giving some of my thoughts on this initial post-game takes, analysis, things like that. As we always do, we'll come back next week with the Longhorns football show with more kind of complete thoughts on Red River, I'm sure. But yeah, it's just a couple of my initial takeaways from the game. So first and foremost, just kind of recap what happened. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you saw, but keep it quick. You get Quinn Ewers returning for his first start since the Alabama game, where he was knocked out near the end of the first quarter on a hit from Dallas Turner. Missed the last 3 complete games, and then kind of picked up where he left off against Alabama. He was a little bit slower in the second half than in the first half, but you didn't really need him to do much in the second half. Texas's defense was playing so well that wasn't much needed from Quinn Ewers in the second half. He finishes up the game, I believe 21-31. 289 passing yards, over 300 total yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 1 interception, and what I will presume by PFF standards, at least a few turnover-worthy plays. There was 1 or 2 passes. There was 1 pick that OU should have had in the first half that was dropped by their DB, and that was a notable play early on, but I don't know how much of a difference that would have made in the end, given the size of the score, 49-0. JT Sanders continued to get involved in just so many ways. I believe this was his second straight multi-touchdown game, and I love the way that Texas is getting JT Sanders involved. He seems to have a really good natural connection with Quinn Ewers, and I mean, just in certain ways, I just don't get why there were a few weeks there between kind of the UTSA. And even the Alabama game, between Alabama and then Texas Tech, he really just wasn't much of a factor. But yeah, he finishes up this game, 5 catches, 71 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's the only Texas wideout the only Texas player that had multiple touchdown catches. Jordan Whittington has a big game as well. He's really stepped up lately. Great to see him, kind of putting it all together, staying healthy. Hope to continue to see that. He finishes up with 5 catches for 97 yards, had a couple of real nice catches as well. On the ground, Texas had a spectacular effort again. Bijan Robinson was great, 127 yards, 2 scores on the ground. Had a couple catches as well, one really nice one on a rollout from Quinn Ewers. Roschon Johnson was real solid through the air, or in the receiving game and the ground game. 10 carries, 60 yards. Some real hard-fought carries there as well. And like I said, getting him involved in the passing game. There was one it was like a reverse screen. There was a really, really nice play call. I believe that was that was in the first half, maybe the first quarter. Gave Roschon the bulk of his 36 receiving yards on 2 catches. I mean, there's so much that we could talk about from a team stat level, and that's kind of a few of the things I wanted to cover. Texas one of the things that set the tone early in this game was Texas being able to get off the field on 3rd and 4th down. Season best, 11 of holding OU to a 3 of 14 on 3rd down, which is a season best in terms of opponent 3rd down percentage for Texas. 2 of 4 on 4th down, including one really key red zone stop for Texas in the first quarter. That was one of the things that really set the tone here. But the biggest things here were 36 first downs for Texas compared to 11 for OU, and then 585 total yards of offense for Texas compared to just 195 for OU. Texas' defense was tremendous in this game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. Pass rush made life pretty difficult for Davis Bevell. I mean, I believe they got home twice, maybe 3 times in this game, but you hold their starting quarterback to 38 passing yards. 1 interception. Texas did come up with 2 turnovers, though. Jahdae Barron and Deshaun Jameson both getting their second interceptions of the season, respectively. The defensive front, though, was tremendous in this game. That kind of 3-4-man interior combination of Keontae Coburn, T'Vondre Sweat, Byron Murphy were awesome. They've been huge difference makers this season for Texas. The linebackers were solid. That duo of Jalen Ford and DeMarvion Overshown coming up big. Just as a unit, man, the defense was great. It's great to see. Get 2 straight solid performances now, responding really well after that loss to Tech on the road. OU tried to do it seemed like they tried to do everything they could from a play calling perspective, or just a trickeration perspective, if you will, early in this game to try to find ways to move the ball down the field. Had a fake field goal try that was barely converted in the first quarter, but that ultimately led to another fourth down stop and a turnover on downs. A lot of snaps where you had Eric Gray or Marcus Major or Braden Willis taking quarterback snaps and doing variation of wildcat plays, option plays, jet sweeps, things like that. You had a lot of Davis Bevel lining out wide as a wide receiver, but there wasn't much that came of that sort of adjustment for the OU offense. There's just a lot that I can say about this. It's really, really nice to see Texas closing out a game in the second half the way they did here, really setting the tone early and never looking back. It's huge to look at just the box score here and see that Texas didn't win any of the quarters by less than 7 points. So I don't remember saying that in the other Texas game under Sark, at least. So that's huge. But like I said, being able to close out this game the way that they did. I mean, yes, you're up by 28 at half, but it's not that different from when you were up 21, 28 at half last year in Red River, obviously beyond the quarterback situation for OU. I will say it, though, if Dylan Gabriel plays this game, yeah, I mean, it's not a 49-0 game, but does OU win? I don't think so. I mean, they had Dylan Gabriel part of that game against TCU. They were still losing at that point of the game by multiple scores, and then against Kansas State, they still came up short. So, I mean, like I said, that made a difference in the margin of, in the ultimate, scoring differential in this game, but I just don't think that mattered a whole lot in the end here. A couple other things to mention from this game. For one, this will clearly have a massive impact for Texas on the recruiting trail. Just with both sides of the ball looking so good, and with you getting so many different players involved. You had young running backs getting involved on offense with Jonathan Brooks getting a rushing score. You had Jaden Blue getting some carries. You got all the way down to Charles Wright at quarterback there in the fourth quarter taking snaps, which was cool to see. The offensive line, you're getting guys like DJ Campbell and Cam Williams in the game here that were getting some really good pushes off the line of scrimmage in the second half. On defense, you had, I think that was the first career, at least he got credit for half a sack in the second half for Justice Finkley. So, I mean, that should have a big impact in edge recruiting. I believe one of the guys in attendance for this game was Colton Vosick, an OU commit that Texas is really pressing to flip right now, and probably will continue to do so through signing day. So the impact on the recruiting trail is going to be huge. A few other guys that were in attendance in this game: 5-star 2024 wide receiver Micah Hudson, 5-star 2024 edge Colin Simmons, 5-star 2023 cornerback Javian Toviano, 4-star 2023 DL Marcus Deal. This win is, I have to imagine, will move the needle with the dozens of targets of recruits that were in attendance technically for OU, but there's so much crossover between OU and Texas recruits that this really will serve as a major positive for Texas. Moving forward, Texas has got to parlay this win into momentum for the rest of October. You still got two very difficult games, I think, or challenging, very challenging. I won't say extremely difficult, but very challenging games coming up. If next weekend you've got Iowa State at home. Iowa State's defense has looked like the best in the Big 12 so far, so what has looked like the best I'd say the best offense in the Big 12 with Quinn Ewers at the helm, at least for Texas, against maybe the best defense in Iowa State. Then the following week, you go on the road to take on number 7 Oklahoma State in Stillwater during their homecoming weekend, and that should obviously be a big challenge for this Texas team as well, especially given some of their difficulties playing on the road. But I mean, this was by far the best effort from Texas at a neutral site or on the road so far, so hopefully this can serve as Texas turning a corner, or at least jolt some momentum. Was this the best version of OU? Absolutely not. But, I mean, just to get the largest shutout win, I believe this was the worst shutout loss for OU, at least in the modern history of that football program, maybe the entire history. For Texas to look the way they did in almost every phase of the game, this should be a huge momentum boost, a huge confidence boost to both the staff and the players. Like I said, the recruiting trail, that should serve as a momentum boost as well coming out of this Red River win. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm sure we're going to have a million things to talk about for the Hook 'em Horns football show in the next few days. So stay tuned for that. I will link down some of the post-game coverage here below. Again, my name is Andrew Miller, editor over at hook'emheadlines.com. Big win for Texas today, 49-0 over OU. Biggest margin of victory for Texas in Red River history. Snaps their 4-game losing streak dating back to 2018 as well. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Like I said, look forward to seeing y'all here next week for the Hook 'em Horns football show. And yeah, Hook 'em.